I work the night shift at a data center. My job starts at 10 o'clock at night and ends at 6 o'clock in the morning. I am a network monitor. That means I sit at my desk the whole night and stare at a big computer screen. I watch for any alarms or problems with the servers. If an alarm comes, I check it right away. But most nights, everything stays quiet. Once during my shift, I have to get up and walk back to the server racks. I check the cooling systems to make sure they are working well. The servers get very hot, so the cooling is important. Almost every night, nothing is wrong. The fans are running fine, the temperature is good, and I go back to my desk. After that, I have many hours of free time. I can use the internet as long as I keep one eye on the monitoring software. Last week felt like every other week. The evening shift man gave me the handover notes. He said everything was normal. I sat down at my desk, turned on my computer, and read all the emails from the day. Then I opened the monitoring program and the camera screens. The cameras show every part of the building, including the big data hall where all the servers are kept. After I finished the checks, I looked for something to do. I like to watch scary stories on YouTube. The data center is the best place for that. The lights in my office are dim. The whole building is empty and quiet except for me. No one else is around for hours. It makes the scary videos feel very real. I found a long video called Terrifying True Scary Stories. I put on my headphones and started watching. The first story was about a man hiking alone in the woods at night. Something unknown was following him. The storyteller spoke slowly, and the background music was low and creepy. I got completely lost in the story. My eyes stayed fixed on the screen. My body felt tense. I could almost hear the leaves moving behind the hiker. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something move on one of the camera feeds. The camera shows the server racks. My heart jumped hard in my chest. A quick feeling of fear went through me. But I told myself it was nothing. I often get scared like this when I watch these videos. My mind plays tricks on me because the stories are so good. I clicked on the camera and made it full screen. The data hall looked completely dark. That was normal. The lights in the data hall only turn on when they sense movement. Right now, the lights were off, and everything looked still. I watched for a few seconds more. No movement. I felt a little silly and went back to the scary story. But only 5 minutes later, I saw it again. A shadow moved quickly across the edge of the screen. This time it was clearer. I turned my head fast to look at the camera feed. My hands felt cold. The lights in the data hall were still off. I could not see anything moving on the screen. The rows of server racks looked quiet and empty. Still, I knew I had seen something. My stomach started to feel tight. I could not sit still anymore. I stood up from my chair. My legs felt a little weak. I walked out of my small office into the long hallway. The floor was cold under my shoes. At the end of the hallway, there was a heavy access door that led into the data hall. I pushed the door open and stepped inside. The moment I walked in, all the bright fluorescent lights clicked on at the same time. The whole big room became bright white in 1 second. I stopped and waited for my eyes to get used to the light. My heart was beating fast. I tried to breathe slowly and quietly. I listened hard for any strange sound. But the servers made a loud, constant humming noise. It was hard to hear anything else over that sound. I started walking slowly between the tall rows of server racks. Each row was like a long metal wall full of blinking lights and wires. The air felt cool because of the air conditioning. I looked left and right as I walked. My shoes made soft sounds on the floor. With every corner I came to, my fear grew bigger. I kept thinking, what if something is really here? My imagination was running wild from the scary video. My chest felt tight. My hands were sweating, and my face felt wet and cold. I checked row after row. Nothing. No one was hiding. No strange shadows. But my mind would not calm down. I told myself to stop being silly, but my body would not listen. My heart pounded so loud that it seemed louder than the servers. I felt sick, like I wanted to vomit. My breathing was fast and shallow. Finally, I reached the last row. This was the farthest part of the data hall. I knew that if anything bad was going to happen, it would be here. My legs felt heavy. I could hardly move forward. I took one more step and turned the corner very slowly. I saw nothing. The space behind the last row was empty. Just more servers, clean floor, and bright lights. No person. No shadow. No knife. No monster. I stood there for a long moment, breathing hard. Then a big wave of relief washed over me. I had done it again. I had let those stupid scary stories scare me too much. I laughed a little at myself, but my laugh sounded shaky. I turned around and walked back through the rows. The lights stayed on as I moved. When I reached the access door, I stepped out into the hallway. The lights in the data hall turned off behind me. I went back to my desk, sat down, and drank some water. My hands were still shaking a little. I decided to change the video. No more scary stories for tonight. I searched for something calm and found a long documentary about fighter jets. The narrator had a steady voice, and the pictures of planes were interesting. I watched that for the rest of the night. I checked the cameras a few more times, but everything stayed normal. No more shadows. No more strange feelings. The hours passed quietly. At last, 6 o'clock came. The morning light was starting to show outside. The day's shift worker walked in. He looked tired and had his usual hangover face. We talked for a few minutes. I told him the night was quiet and nothing special happened. He smiled and said, "Same as always." We exchanged a few more words about the weather and the weekend. Then I packed my bag, put on my jacket, and left the building. I walked across the parking lot to my car. The morning air felt fresh and cool. I was thinking about going home, taking a shower, and sleeping all day. When I got close to my car, I noticed something white under the windshield wiper. It looked like a piece of paper or a card. I walked faster and pulled it out. It was a Polaroid picture. The kind that comes out of an old camera and develops right away. My hands started to shake as I held it up to look at it in the morning light. The photo showed the inside of the data hall. All the lights were on, making the room very bright. I could clearly see the long rows of server racks. In the picture, I was standing in the middle of the hall. My back was to the camera. I was just about to turn the corner of one of the rows, exactly like I had done earlier that night. But the worst part was in the center of the photo. A man's hand was reaching out from behind the person who took the picture. The hand was holding a big knife. The blade looked sharp and shiny under the bright lights. I stood there in the parking lot, staring at the photo. My mouth went dry. My legs felt weak again. The scary feeling from the night came back much stronger than before. Someone had been there. Someone had taken this picture while I was walking between the racks. Someone had been close enough to reach out with a knife. I looked around the empty parking lot. No one was there. The building looked normal. But now I know the truth. That night had not been empty after all. I worked the graveyard shift as a police officer in Wyoming. It is not fun. The nights feel very strange and scary. I am a big guy, but the darkness still bothers me. The woods are so thick that even the lights look dim. Most nights, I sit alone in my patrol car with nothing to do. I watch shows or read books on my phone. Sometimes I get small calls like checking on someone or looking for a suspicious person near a bar. Those calls make me happy because they take me back to town instead of sitting on empty roads. 2 days ago, something bad happened. I had just come back from vacation. Jimmy, the officer who covered my shifts, told me he now understood how creepy the night shift is. I laughed and said I would take over. I told him to bring something to do next time. Then I had an idea. It was my only night shift that week. Why not make it easier? I invited Jimmy to ride with me in the cruiser. He could sit in the dark station or hang out with me. He said yes right away. We parked in a hidden spot and started watching a bad horror movie. We drank a couple of beers. We were not drunk, just relaxing. We did not think we would have to move much. Then my work phone rang at 3 a.m. It was Brian, the officer at the station. He was laughing, which was unusual for him. "Hey Tom, you won't believe this," he said. "Someone called from the old AMK factory on McHaven Road. They broke into steal stuff and now they're stuck inside. I laughed hard. Jimmy laughed too. The factory had no power and no phones for 10 years. It was abandoned after the company moved away. Now kids use it to drink and spray graffiti. Brian said the caller sounded scared. He asked us to go help the guy get out. We could decide later if we wanted to arrest him for trespassing. I said we would go. It was better than giving speeding tickets. We drove there in 10 minutes. I opened the rusty chain at the entrance. We got out with our flashlights. Jimmy looked nervous. He was new and had never been there at night. He went left around the building, and I went right. We looked for a way inside. Suddenly Jimmy yelled. I ran fast toward him with my hand on my gun. I thought something bad was happening. When I turned the corner, Jimmy was laughing hard, bent over. I got you, he said with a big smile. I was annoyed. It was almost 4 a.m., and we were in an old factory. For a second I thought he was hurt. He apologized and said he was just trying to make the night fun. I told him I would get him back later and said we should keep looking. We found a broken window and climbed inside. The place was dark and quiet. I radioed Brian and asked for backup officers, just to be safe. We called out for the stuck guy, but no one answered. We walked past old machines. Our shoes made noise on the concrete floor. At the back, the hallway split into 3. We made a mistake. We split up. We were tired. We agreed to keep radios on and talk if we found the guy. I thought the person had probably run away by now. I did not plan to arrest him. He had already had a bad night. I checked the rooms on my side and called out. Jimmy did the same on his side. He moved faster than me. I told him to slow down and check every room carefully. He did not answer. Then his voice came on the radio. Hey Tom, I see something. What? I asked. There's a hand sticking out of a doorway. It's moving its finger at me. I stopped walking. Don't go near it. Back up slowly. I'm coming. I started walking toward the stairs, but not too fast. Part of me thought it was the stuck guy asking for help. Another part felt scared. Then Jimmy screamed on the radio. Tom! There's a face! Someone is looking at me! I ran as fast as I could. I reached the door between the 2 sides of the factory and pushed hard. It would not open. I rammed it with my shoulder and yelled Jimmy's name. I heard faint yelling from the other side. Finally the door broke open. I pulled out my gun and ran up the dark stairs. The door to the 3rd floor was locked too. I hit it hard with my shoulder. No answer from Jimmy now, only silence. I shot the lock many times with my pistol. The door still did not move. Something was blocking it. I kicked the door with all my strength. My flashlight fell and rolled down the stairs. I could not see well anymore, but I kept pushing. The door finally opened enough for me to squeeze through. I called Jimmy's name. At the end of the hallway, I saw a faint light in a room. A silhouette stood in the doorway. It looked like Jimmy. He was moving side to side, like he was dancing. Then I heard giggling that turned into laughter. I got angry. I thought he was pranking me again. Are you kidding me? I shouted. I thought someone was hurting you. I told you to stop messing around. This is too much. I put my gun away and turned to leave. I'm going outside to wait for backup. You can drive the car back when you're done playing. Don't talk to me for a week. I picked up my things and climbed out the window. Backup arrived in 5 minutes. I got in their cruiser and told them to take me back to the station. The driver pointed at the factory. Don't you want to wait for your partner? He's at the window up there. I looked. There was a flashlight beam and a silhouette in one window. I said Jimmy could bring the car back himself. I was too mad. They drove me to the station. I got in my truck and went home. Jimmy did not come to work the next day. He did not bring the car back. We thought he was sick or scared to face me after the prank. Everyone I told agreed he went too far. Yesterday he still did not show up. People started worrying. Today was my day off, but they called me to help search. We went back to the factory. The cruiser was still parked there. We searched everywhere. On the 3rd floor, I found the other officers. One was vomiting. The other looked sick. I walked into the hallway. There was a trail of blood on the floor. At the end, Jimmy was hanging from the doorway. His body was badly hurt. His stomach was cut open. His eyes and tongue were gone. His arms and legs were the worst. The veins had been pulled out and braided together like ropes. I felt frozen at first. Then I walked into the room behind him. Above the doorway was a pulley system made from his own veins. It looked like someone had turned him into a puppet. I could not believe what I was seeing. The silhouette I saw at the window that night, the dancing, the giggling, it was not Jimmy playing a joke. Something else had been there with him. Something had killed him in a horrible way and used his body like a toy. Now I keep thinking about that night. The laughter on the phone, the hand waving, the face in the dark, the dancing shadow. I do not know what was in that factory, but it was not a stuck thief. It was waiting for us. I feel sick every time I remember it. Jimmy was just trying to make the night less boring. Instead, he died in the worst way. I wish I had not invited him. I wish we had never split up. I wish I had believed the scared feeling in my stomach. The graveyard shift already felt alien and empty. Now it feels dangerous too. I do not know if I can keep doing this job the same way. Every dark road and every quiet building will remind me of what happened to Jimmy.